Rodrigo De Leon, age 79, was married to 80-year-old Arabella. Arabella was born in Cebu City, Philippines in 1943. She moved to Kansas City, Missouri and got her degree in dietary nutrition. She met and married Rodrigo. The family moved to Fremont, California in 1978. After her children grew up, she switched careers and became a real estate agent. In 1990 she moved to Granola Hills, California with her family, and advanced further into her real estate career. She loved the Kansas City Chiefs, and San Francisco 49ers. The couple had 3 children: 49-year-old Mercedes De Leon, 53-year-old Rodrigo De Leon and a third child which will remain unknown for privacy reasons. Rodrigo De Leon Jr. was born in 1970 in Kansas City, Missouri. He grew up in San Francisco, California. In 2002 he married and had a daughter. He was an avid biker, and loved pop culture. He was known for his sense of humor, empathy, and his generosity. Mercedes De Leon was born in 1974 in Kansas City, Missouri. She also grew up in San Francisco, California. She had 2 beautiful children. She was well known for her extraordinary intelligence, sharp sense of humor, and her deep capacity to care for others with her strong sense of compassion. Her nickname was Bunny. The family lived at 11606 Lerdo Avenue in Granada Hills, Los Angeles, California for the past 10 years. The neighborhood is just above the 118 freeway near Zelza Park. The area is quiet, and consists of large, upscale homes. The home is valued at approximately $2.5 million. Granada Hills is located within the San Fernando Valley region of Los Angeles. It is located at the foothills of the Santa Susana Mountains. It has a population of just under 54,000 citizens. At approximately 6:50 p.m. on January 27 in 2023, Rodrigo systematically shot each member of his family. He started with his wife Arabella, then his 2 children Rodrigo Jr. and Mercedes. The couple's third child, a daughter with special needs, also lived in the home. She was able to barricade herself in her bedroom. He tried to get into his daughter's room but eventually gave up. He then went to his bedroom and turned the gun on himself, committing suicide. The daughter was able to call 911 from her bedroom. Officers were dispatched to the scene. When police arrived, they knocked on the door. When they received no response, they forced their way into the home, and were met by a frantic woman who led them to the bodies of her family. Police were horrified to discover 4 deceased adults. Los Angeles Police Department Captain Kelly Muniz spoke to reporters on the scene.
I mean, I don't know how much more terrifying and horrific of a scene it could be. And when you have 4 persons that are deceased, the only positive point is that you at least have one witness that has survived this incident.
Police spent the remainder of the night, and into the next day, processing the crime scene for evidence with a heavy police presence. Neighbors couldn't understand how this could happen in their quiet neighborhood. Richard and Cheryl Asperger said they were surprised to learn about the shooting after arriving home Saturday night as helicopters circled above. Richard said, "This is a nice neighborhood. To think that a triple homicide or a shootout can happen, that's not what we moved here for." His wife Cheryl said, "These things can happen anywhere when guns are as prevalent as they are. Everyone loses their temper sometimes. But people are too used to picking up a gun," Richard said. "You know damn well the neighbors are going to say, 'He's such a nice guy, he used to take our trash cans out for us.'" On the Sunday after the murders, neighbor Eva Amar placed a plastic-wrapped bouquet of lilies and roses into the gate that she'd purchased at a nearby market. She said, "Sometimes people who do this type of thing feel forgotten. Loneliness seems to be an epidemic these days." She said didn't know what other people might be going through behind closed doors, she said, and hoped the pink and red flowers would signal that somebody cared. She said they were a quiet family, no parties, no problems. The UPS driver for the area dropped by to leave flowers outside of the home to show respect. He said, "I've been on this route for 24 years, and I think they've been here even longer. They seemed like a normal family. So obviously anybody would be like, how could this happen?" The medical examiner found that 79-year-old Rodrigo De Leon murdered his wife Arabella, and his two grown children, Rodrigo and Mercedes. All had multiple gunshot injuries. Rodrigo then killed himself by a single gunshot wound to the chest. Investigators have yet to be able to determine what caused Rodrigo to murder his family then commit suicide. A GoFundMe was set up for funeral and burial costs. It has raised more than $17,000. Funeral and burial arrangements for Arabella, Rodrigo Jr. and Mercedes were not made known to the public. Donna Cohen is a professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at the University of South Florida's Department of Aging and Mental Health. Cohen believes that approximately 20 elderly Americans die each week in homicide-suicides. Cohen states that these are not couples who decide to die together. These are typical homicide-suicide cases brought about either by depression or some other form of mental illness, sickness, or someone losing control, and in some cases just an act of desperation. Cohen states that these cases have drastically increased over the past 25 years. Patrick Arbore is the director of the Center for Elderly Suicide Prevention at the Goldman Institute on Aging. He says it's unclear why more and more elderly men are deciding to murder close family members and then themselves. He suspects it could be loneliness. He states that more and more seniors are living isolated lives from their family and friends. Cohen states there are some signs to look for in the elderly who have a higher rate for murder-suicides. Changes in eating or sleeping, talk of helplessness or hopelessness, loss of interest in activities, giving possessions away, long marriage with a dominant spouse, one of the couple is a caregiver to the other, one or both are becoming more and more isolated, arguing or talk of separation or divorce. If you have an elderly parent or family members and you believe they're at risk for suicide, call a crisis center, suicide hotline, physician, emergency room, or a mental health center. If there's a gun in the home, find a way to remove it. Rodrigo De Leon murdered his wife and two grown children, and tried to kill his special needs child, but she was able to barricade the door in her bedroom. It's unclear why Rodrigo chose to do this monstrous act to his own family. What would cause someone to murder their own family? Was he depressed, mentally ill, angry over something, illness, or was this just an act of pure evil? What do you think? May this family rest in peace, and may the daughter who survived get therapy for the horror she experienced that fateful day. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.